when you realize the majority of men are making like 51,000 or less, and the average man in the United States is like 5'9", and you listen to what women say they want, there's this massive disconnect. There, go ahead, start from the beginning.
Sorry, but if I was a man, I would be the biggest slut ever.
No, you would not, because this would be you. Here's a still image from your video, and here's you as a male.
I would get the mullet haircut.
As depicted here.
I would get the slutty little mustache.
Let's see if that helps.
I would do the day in the life videos that start off in my boxers. And
I'm gonna stop you right there. She's imagining that if she was a man, she would be the kind of man that she looks at on her phone. Women of many qualities are always in demand, so they imagine if I was a man, I would be in demand. And then they think, how do I feel about men who are in my demand? And then they make up stories about how easy life would be. Life is not easy for this man. He's not getting any views on his boxer shorts day in the life story.
oh my god, like, they have it so easy and they do it every time.
Remember, when they say they have it easy, they mean them, not you and me. Men have it so easy. Now, just apply that same principle to economics and the workforce. Men have it so easy. Not these ones, these men. These men have it so easy. And that's why men need to be last in line for jobs. Men. And now you understand the situation. Are you having a hard time? Well, that doesn't matter because men have it so easy. These ones. And that's what they mean by equality. You can do more and get less, but it doesn't matter because men have it easy. Quiet, you.
I do a helicopter with my every morning.
Okay, so whenever we ask women, so they did an experiment where they took average-looking guys and then gave the Tinder profiles to women. And how do you think the women did as far as picking up other women?
Horrible.
Abjectly horrible. They were incredibly bad because when women had to actually go out and pursue, they had no concept of manufacturing attraction whatsoever. And whenever you ask women, hey, what would you be like as a man? They're like, they all presume they're going to be 6'3" and good looking. And the reality is that is not how the genetic distribution works. But anybody have anything else you want to say about this? Guys, whenever women take over male dating accounts, it's disasters. And there was one lady who actually went and pretended to be a man for several years and saw how horrible it was for men and then took her own life. Okay? When she saw how horrible it is for men.
Took her own life?
Yes, she took her own life.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this is a long time ago. It was more like 20 years ago. In these situations, when you see this, I just don't think women understand. It's not like, I'm not talking about me. I live on the strip. I have an awesome girlfriend and I make a good living. I'm talking about guys who like are day laborers out in South Texas. I'm talking about dudes who like work up in Wyoming on an oil rig and just are lucky to get home alive. Like when you realize the majority of men are making like 51,000 or less, that the average man in the United States is like 5'9", and you listen to what women say they want, there's this massive disconnect. And so there's this huge group of men that are left behind. And so when women say this, they're like, well, when I become a man, of course you're going to be a NBA small forward with a huge who makes $100 million a year. That's what you
helicopter
think.
with,
but it's not. But it's not like that. Like it's like a lot of guys can't do the helicopter. Sorry, Bree. What if you became men and there was no helicopter for you? What happens there?
Just try harder.
I go to the med spa. And
The med spa. Yeah.
That's
Actually, why don't we do the AI influencer one? Because that's perfect.
Okay.
That's a perfect segue
The first
into this
one,
one.
and then the second one?
Yeah, we'll look at both of them. Let's look at it, guys. I want you guys to look up at the
Watch
screen,
this one.
especially those of you who have only or friends with OnlyFans. Want to watch this one? Go ahead.
Yes, this will be very educational.
AI-generated influencers on TikTok are the target of a petition signed by over 12,000 parents. I'll explain. In an online petition addressed to TikTok CEO Xiaoxi Chu, the parents say AI-generated influencers are contributing to the unrealistic beauty standards children see online. Sponsored by Parents Together, a nonprofit organization that advocates for children and families, the petition urges TikTok to clearly label influencer accounts that are AI-generated. Research has already shown that TikTok is a potential minefield for kids and teens. Your most vulnerable users, struggling with body image, self-esteem, disordered eating, and other unhealthy behaviors, the petition stated. Since 2023, TikTok has required users to label content that is AI-generated accordingly, but the concerned parents say it's not enough. They're calling for TikTok to, quote, proactively and clearly identify these accounts. According to NBC News, many of these accounts specify in their bios that they're virtual influencers, but don't do so on their content. In a statement, a TikTok TikTok spokesperson said 3 of the accounts named in the petition have already been removed from the platform.
Okay, so how interesting is this now there's body dysmorphia because all of a sudden these influencers have bodies that are not realistic. So now, like you said before, like again, anybody want to guess what state in the union has the most women with breast implants? Anybody?
Florida.
California.
I was going to say California.
It's a trick question. What
California.
where were they invented?
Vegas.
Anyone know?
Cali.
They were invented at the Southwest Texas Medical Center
Texas?
in Houston, Texas, in 1974.
The biggest medical center in the world.
Yes, that's where the first time that you guys can watch the movie Breast Man. And I grew up in Texas. I grew up in Texas.
All the women in Texas, but the boobs in Texas don't look fake.
Right, but they're just really good boob jobs. But
They're
there's
really
a lot.
good.
Yeah, the most boob jobs per capita is actually San Antonio. Now, here's the funny thing. I grew up in Texas, and I'm very comfortable with girls with boob jobs. Extremely. In fact, I haven't dated a girl without a boob job in like years. And so that's something that you get comfortable with, right? My belief about what women's shape looks like came from the fact that I grew up around that kind of environment, okay? Now, the thing is here, when we see this, there's 2 issues. Number one, you say that your young child...
Yeah, my son.
Your son grew up around models and said, this girl's too unattractive, and he's saying this at 12 years old, right? That's the first problem. And the second problem is, if you have an you're about to get place. You might want to take a look. There's going to be a problem because a lot of these influencers are making so much money. Can you play the second one?
This is the follow-up right here.
This Instagram model isn't real. Her entire Instagram account is generated with AI. This is the owner of the account, and he's bringing in $10,000 a month doing this. He's doing this with brand deals that feature her, and they know that she's AI, but they don't care. She's getting engagement, and she's making sales. The guy who invented this account said he did this because he got sick of dealing with models and their demands. And I gotta say, this is impressive. Like, go get your bag, but I don't think it's the most ethical. I mean, it works for him and it works for companies. But what about the people who actually do this for a living? The entertainment industry is known for treating their people like but, you know, if it's an AI product, they don't know any different. And I feel like these, like, crazy demands that these influencers have might not be that crazy, actually. They might be crazy, some of them, but not all of them. And something similar to this is actually the whole reason why the actors are on strike. It's just wild that he found a way to take models out of modeling. And this begs the question, what's next? And he's not a manager, he is the product, so he gets to keep all of the profit. It's a little sad because say what you want about influencers, but, like, it is a job, and it's like, how are Instagram models supposed to compete with this? And like influencers that are trying to, you know, get brand deals, sell products. Models already have a really short shelf life, and this is not helping. I don't know about you, but I like real humans. If you like my content, follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more. It really helps when you interact.
Cool. Brittany, what do you think? I want you to consider this. Sorry, this cake is good. I want you to consider this. If I take an AI image that is clearly Katie Moore, I need to compensate Katie Moore for that. But if I take a compilation of Milana and Katie Moore and put them together and get the average of it, I don't have to compensate anyone for that. Do you understand?
That's crazy.
I can actually, because now I have another original product. And so because of that, that's where the writer's strike came from. And ladies, I disagree with you. I think artificial intelligence is going to get closer and closer to the Turing test. And once it does that, you're going to have a serious issue with girls trying to make money on OF because the guys who are managing these accounts aren't going to get any pushback or feedback or anything like that. Does that make sense?
The real modeling world has AI models in it. So your big brands have artificial models or AI in real campaigns. So you have to understand at some point there is going to be a merge of the real and the AI. Those two worlds are going to have to coexist, and there's going to be a point where we as people look at airports. There was a point, I remember I was so mad one time boarding a flight, and I was like, one day you're going to be replaced by a kiosk. Now you go and you look at United, all of those workers are now what? Kiosks. Now there's more kiosks than there are people because what? You aren't offering more than what someone else can create digitally.
Yeah.
Well,
It's what the world really is.
Well, I think what's interesting, what gets left out of that conversation is the demand. If you can't tell the difference,
it does to the influencer. It does to the
influencer, yes, but the consumer is all that's what it's about. There's a functional difference between automation and AI. Okay, so what we're looking at here, the reason why she's all upset about this, but that some guy made something that was believable enough that guys will still stroke off to it because it serves the purpose,
stroke off
right?
to cartoons though?
Well,
Aren't
that's
there
Well, but yes, there are. But the thing is that
you can tell the difference. At some point, you won't be able to tell.
Yeah, but see, that's niche, right? That's like a fetish, okay? Right. As opposed to this looks almost like a real chick, and she'll do exactly what I want her to do.
But girls are going and face tuning the out of themselves, and that's not even themselves anymore. So what's the difference?
Well, it's not about the supply; it's about the demand. And that should tell you something about the guys who follow you on a regular basis on or whatever they're paying for you on a sexual nature. Is they'll stroke off to your feet pictures, but they'll also stroke off to AI generated feet pictures.
Oh, no, they are.
Well, probably, which will come.
By the way, they're doing like Corey E has a Hey Gen, and they're like making every time they have a new client jumps on and subscribes, he goes, "Hey John, great to see you," blah blah blah, and it's her talking, but she has nothing to do with it. They're just doing an AI generated thing. I know some guys that are doing
the Saudi robot flirting with the girl.
No, I didn't.
What? Okay, so there's a Saudi robot, and he's in full get up, and the commentator that was at something they were doing, she was gorgeous, like stunning, and the robot started flirting with her.
Yeah,
it had emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I've seen that. The ones. Have you guys been to the Sphere? There's a bunch of AI robots that'll talk to you. They get into really interesting conversations.
That's
like
so weird.
What? That is
crazy.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys are scared, but there's being scared in general, and then also if you're a female content creator, there are people coming for your jobs, regardless of what you think. Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
Or robotics already know everything about you because all they got to do is net scrape everything about Rollo Tomasi, Mike Sartain.
Just like you.
That's all they have to do.